A beautiful Tuesday morning. Welcome to Morning Sport Blitz on Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba, the station that beats for you. Will bring you the latest happenings in the world of sports. My name is Julian AJUNWA, your host on the show today. For the next one, I will be bringing you the biggest stories in the transfer market and everything you need to know in the world of sport. Morning Sport Blitz comes your way Mondays through Saturdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Morning Sport Blitz starts right now. As usual, we'll start from the home front and let you know that Nigeria Super Falcons stepped up preparation for the decisive final Group C fixture against Egypt at the 2026 Women's African Cup of Nations in Morocco with a training session yesterday evening. The session, which started at 6 p.m., took place at the Asfa Training Center in Rabat as head coach Justin Madugu had time to fine-tune his tactics ahead of Wednesday's encounter. The 10-time African champions had a light recovery session and other in-house activities on Sunday after grinding out a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Zambia at the Al Madina Stadium on Saturday night. Asisa Toshola's early strike secured Nigeria's first win of the tournament, while the Super Falcons showed remarkable resilience to hold on for all 3 points despite playing the entire second half with 10 players following the straight red card given to defender Tosin Dimei. The victory revived Nigeria's quarter-final hopes after their disappointing 3-2 defeat to tournament debutant Malawi in their opening Group C match. Madugu's side will now shift focus to Egypt, with victory expected to be enough to seal a place in the knockout stages. The Super Falcons will be also targeting an emphatic result to strengthen their position in the group and build momentum heading into the last 8 of the tournament. Egypt lost their opening 2 games 6-0 to Zambia and 3-1 to Malawi. And Wednesday's Group C encounter will be played at the Olympic Stadium in Rabat, with the Super Falcons aiming to finish the group phase on a high and continue their quest for a record-extending 11th WAFCON title. Meanwhile, Flying Eagles head coach Abdul Maikaba has declared that his side is fully focused on Wednesday's semi-final showdown against host Cote d'Ivoire at the ongoing WAFCON B Under-20 Championship. Nigeria missed out on top spot in Group B after suffering a 2-0 defeat to Burkina Faso in their final group stage match on Sunday. Despite the setback, Maikaba remains upbeat, insisting his players have learned valuable lessons from the loss and are determined to produce a stronger performance against the Ivorians. A place in the final and qualification for the 2027 Africa Under-20 Cup of Nations will be on the line in the encounter. Burkina Faso will face Niger Republic in the other semi-final clash. Let's move on to talk about some Nigerian players on the show. Super Eagles forward Kelechi Iheanacho has sent a heartfelt message to Celtic following their permanent move to Turkish club Bursaspor. Kelechi spent the 2025-26 campaign with the Scottish champions and played a very pivotal role as the Hoops secured a domestic double by winning both the Scottish Premiership and the Scottish Cup. The 29-year-old found the net 9 times in all competitions during his lone season at Parkhead, contributing several important goals in Celtic's very successful campaign. With his contract expiring at the end of the season, Kelechi completed a free transfer to Bursaspor. The former Leicester City player took to social media to bid an emotional farewell to the Celtic fans, expressing his gratitude to the club, his teammates, the coaching staff, and supporters for making his time in Glasgow in memory one. Finally, still on the Nigerian players watch, Nigerian international Stanley Wabali won the Man of the Match award in Chippa United's 2026-27 Premier Soccer League PSL opening fixture against Golden Arrows, which ended goalless on Saturday, putting in a brilliant performance on his competitive appearance for the first time in 8 months. Nwabali stood between Golden Arrows and the 3 points throughout the tie, despite the Durban side enjoying the bulk of possession and the most shot on goal. The 30-year-old left Chippa United after Nigeria's AFCON 2025 campaign in Morocco, with both parties mutually agreeing to terminate his contract. He signed again last month after a difficult personal period that included the public revelation of his internal struggles with mental health after the death of his parents. Chippa United, who finished 4 points above the relegation zone last season, to look to build on their opening day point when the hosts reached base on August 11. After missing out on the Super Eagles squad that featured in the Unity Cup and the double-header friendly matches with Portugal and Poland in May and June, respectively, Stanley could be back in the team for the 2027 AFCON qualifiers in September, provided he keeps doing well for his club. So I'm very excited that Stanley Wabali finally can get back to playing football, can get back to doing what he loves. The truth of the matter is Stanley Nwabali, you might not like his antics in goal and all of that, but the truth of the matter is since he became the first choice goalkeeper for the Super Eagles, he has done creditably well. In penalty shootout, he's always very reliable. I can't remember any penalty shootout that he has been involved in that he did not save at least one penalty. You cast your mind back to the previous AFCON, he kept penalties against Egypt. You talk about even the one that Ivory Coast won. He saved penalties against South Africa. He saved penalties against DR Congo as well. Any penalty shootout he has played in for the Super Eagles, you can always bet that at least he will save one penalty. So it's now down to his teammates to convert theirs. Like the one against Morocco, he saved the penalty. The one against DR Congo in the playoffs for the World Cup qualifiers, he also saved. You cast your mind back. So he's always very reliable. He's very physically imposing as well. About 6'4", 6'5". So he's a very solid goalkeeper. And it's good to know that he's finally been able to clear his head. He's back to PSL. He's back to Chippa United. Even though I think that going back to Chippa United probably wasn't really the best deal for him. Stanley Nwabali is a good goalkeeper. He had offers, I believe, from Saudi Arabia, from France, we heard, and all of that. And even though he wanted to go back to the PSL, Chippa United are not one of the biggest clubs in the league. You talk about Kaizer Chiefs, you talk about Orlando Pirates, you talk about Mamelodi Sundowns. I know that in Mamelodi Sundowns it will be difficult to usurp Ronwe Williams, who is the captain of the club and also the captain for the national team. But maybe an Orlando Pirates or maybe a Kaizer Chiefs or something like that, at least a bit of a step up if he indeed wanted to go back to the PSL. But he's gone back to Chippa United, and we wish him all the very, very best. Finally, on the Nigerian Players Watch, former Super Falconets forward Flourish Sebastian has joined reigning Portuguese Women League champions Benfica on a 3-year deal that will run until 2029. Benfica confirmed the signing in the video posted on the official X handle on Monday. Sebastian joined Benfica from Turkish club Fenerbahce, whom she spent just one season, scoring 12 goals in 25 appearances as she helped the team win the league title. The 21-year-old was part of the Falconet squad that featured at the 2022 and 2024 FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. She made her Super Falcons debut on 6th of October 2022 in a friendly match against Japan when she replaced Uche Nakano with 9 minutes to go. Founded on 12 December 2017, Benfica have won 6 consecutive First Division titles, 1 Second Division title, 3 Portuguese Cup, 5 League Cups, which is a record, and 3 Super Cups. So she's gone to a very good club, one that would also boost her career. And just hope that you have some bit of stability. Christy Uchebo is in there, so I'm sure that she's going to help her settle in well and play the big sister role, to help her and ensure that she has a good time at Benfica. Okay, so let's move on quickly to talk about foreign football on the show and the World Cup. So many things is happening, and as regards FIFA as well. Opponents of FIFA President Gianni Infantino are threatening non-cooperation with the governing body unless he steps down, according to senior UEFA sources. Some of those involved in the rebellion vow there is no going back for as long as Infantino remains in position, as the fallout over his scrapped plans to sell off stakes in FIFA competitions to private investors intensifies. While the details of the proposed disruption remains very unclear, one senior figure said they would certainly expect a refusal to participate in FIFA meetings. It comes after European football's governing body UEFA threatened legal action over the proposals, and Wales publicly withdrawing their backing for Infantino's bid for a 4th term as FIFA president, with England Football Association set to follow suit. In March, Infantino is set to stand for re-election for a final term as president and will need 106 votes from FIFA's 211 members to win. According to reports, the Scottish FA's position on the future of Infantino remains aligned with UEFA's lack of confidence in the 56-year-old. Infantino's leadership had already been publicly questioned by football's governing bodies in Europe, North and Central America and the Caribbean, with UEFA and CONCACAF releasing statements criticizing the plans as the pressure grows on Infantino, with Serbia, Sweden and Finland also withdrawing their support. Morocco, Qatar, Lebanon, Kuwait, Sri Lanka among the countries to have pledged their support for his FIFA leadership to continue. UEFA has got 55 votes, Africa has got 54 votes, Asia has got 46 votes, CONCACAF has got 35 votes, the Oceania and the Commonwealth region has 11 and 10 votes respectively. The Asian Football Federation AFC said it stands in solidarity with UEFA and CONCACAF, while Africa, Commonwealth and Oceania have not criticized Infantino's plan. However, the FIFA Council could try to force Infantino to resign following or through an emergency meeting, and that would be triggered if 19 of the 37 FIFA Council members call for one, and the meeting must take place within the next 2 weeks. UEFA has 9 members, AFC has 7, CONCACAF has 5, Africa has 6, CONMEBOL has 5, Oceania has 3. It is completed by Infantino and Secretary General Matthias Grafstrom. So both of them will vote in favor of him not to resign. So if all of Africa, because Africa has not really come out to support UEFA in order to stand in solidarity with them. So if Africa is to back him, that's 6 plus 2, and you make that 8. Okay, so at the end of the day, the UEFA and the other confederations who are in solidarity for Infantino to resign are still winning. So Infantino needs to do all of the underground politics. He needs to get people on his side to ensure that he does not resign. This must happen within the next 2 weeks. A whole lot of things has been happening to Infantino. He's been there since 2016. For the last 10 years, Infantino has been president of FIFA. And the elections will take place next year in March in Morocco. If all of these issues had not happened, Infantino would have been re-elected unopposed for his final 4-year term as FIFA president. But Infantino has put himself in a very tight corner. Maybe you want to say he has dug his own grave, and as you lay your bed, that's how you lie on it. So if this is the way he wants to lay his bed, he has to lie on it the way he has decided to lay, to arrange it. So that's just the situation around Infantino. A whole lot of pressure for him to resign, a whole lot of pressure for him not to continue. They're not even waiting for next year's election. They want him to step down now. There's pressure, big pressure, but Infantino is a very strong man. He has not been there for 10 years for nothing. He has gathered experience. Even before he became FIFA president, it was at UEFA and all of that. So in terms of the politics and how football should go, he surely got it. So we'll see how all of this goes. This is not the last you hear from this situation, because Infantino must go. That's what everyone is saying, or most people are saying now involved in football. We haven't heard reports that UEFA and other confederations will come together. They'll boycott FIFA. They will form their own association and elect a chairman and people who is going to run it. So it's that bad. So Infantino, I'm not sure he's sleeping so well these days. I don't know, but with all of these things, every day Infantino is in the news. I'm not sure he's very okay at this point in time. Until this issue is sorted out, Infantino would always be in the news, whether for the right or wrong reasons. Only time would tell. Finally, talking about stories around national teams and FIFA, Mauricio Pochettino has agreed a deal to continue as the manager of the USA men's national team until 2030. The former Tottenham and Chelsea manager, who has been in the post since September 2024, led co-host US to the last 16 of the 2026 World Cup before they were beaten, they were smashed, they were annihilated, they were disgraced, they were shamefully beaten by Belgium. They lost that game by 4-1. The new agreement included the role of Pochettino and his coaching staff having a greater remit, in which they would also advise and support US soccer on the broader development of the football national team pathway, youth soccer, coaching, education, professional league collaboration, and other technical facets. So US finished top of their group at the World Cup with wins over Paraguay and Australia to end a 2-0 victory against Bosnia and Herzegovina in the last 32 before their challenge was ended by crushing 4-1 defeat by Belgium. They were involved in one of the controversial issues at the tournament when striker Folarin Balogun was sent off against Bosnia but escaped his suspension following an intervention from the US President Donald Trump. So this was the beginning of the issues for Infantino. If Infantino had not listened to Trump, even though Trump is saying that he did not convince or cajole or confuse anyone you want to say, Infantino to actually rescind, or the FIFA disciplinary committee to rescind that decision for Folarin Balogun not to be suspended for that Belgian game and play. This was one of the issues that sparked the controversies. Everyone in the world of football wasn't comfortable with that decision. If Infantino had allowed that decision to slide, Folarin Balogun served your one match ban. After all, he was there. Of what use was he for USA? They were beaten. They beat them like small pikin. They beat USA like say they go thief something. So that was the issue. That's the beginning of the issues. But again, it's all about Pochettino. I think he has done a fantastic job as coach of the US national team. When you check, what he's been able to achieve, the brand of football that USA play, it reminds me of his Tottenham days. In fact, it reminds me of his Southampton days, because that's when I started monitoring Pochettino and his fantastic work what he did and all of that. His Southampton days, even though he started with Espanyol, but when he came to the Premier League with Southampton, built a very formidable side. He was one of the managers in the Premier League that started this high pressure, high pressing kind of football, counter-attacking football, possession style of football and all of that. And that's why he went to Tottenham Hotspur. He was there for about 5 years. He was able to stabilize the team, despite not so much in terms of investment. They were building a new stadium and all of that. He was able to constantly get them playing Champions League football, playing attractive brand of football. We knew Harry Kane from his Tottenham days under Pochettino. We knew Dele Alli from Tottenham Hotspur. We knew the likes of Heung-min Son and many other players. These guys were players that served Pochettino so well. Christian Eriksen played a very fantastic brand of football. When these guys are all over you, it's usually very difficult to stop them. But again, from there he went to Paris Saint-Germain. From Paris Saint-Germain he went to Chelsea. From Chelsea he now took over the job as the USA men's national team coach. So he's been in charge of 31 games. He's won 17 of those games. He's drawn 2 and lost 12. That gives him a win percentage of 54.84, which isn't bad on paper. So I believe that Pochettino will do an excellent job. And football federations now are giving coaches a longer contract, unlike 1 or 2 years, because national team football is long. It's not like club football that you say, okay, take a 2-year contract. If you do well, we'll renew and all of that. So national team football, because the competitions are usually over a 4-year period, so it's usually good that there's some sort of stability so that the coach can continue. It's more or less like a continuity kind of stuff for Pochettino, and I believe that he will continue the good job he has done so far at the USA national team. Okay, so that's it for the first half of the show. I'll go on a very short break, and when I come back, I'll move on to talk about transfers on the show. Still, Morning Sport Blitz on Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. My name is Julian AJUNWA. I'll be back very shortly.
Oh, that's beautifully done by Dowman, and it's Kai Havertz! The man who scores Arsenal's final goal of last season is the man who opens up their pre-season campaign. Now out to Solis. Up against Martinez again. Is Solis going for goal? And Solis finding the bottom corner. He's been buzzing, he's been lively in this opening half hour. And he gets his reward. Jesus flicks it on for Max Dowman, who can turn away and start dribbling into the area. He's been told to get back to his feet by Marta Huerta, the referee.
Good close control again from Max Dowman. Gets himself away from Moreno. Marta Huerta, the referee, says nowhere near a penalty.
Mosquera, that one's a brilliant ball in, and it was a thunderous header from the captain, Arnau Martinez. Well, they barely had a sniff at Kepa's goal in the first half. It's Max Dowman! Well, he doesn't need a second invitation. This boy is special. Well, this one's going to break here for Gabriel Jesus. A poacher's finish to take this game well away from Girona. Nelson. Manus on the overlap. Nelson can clip that one in. It was O'Neill who was jumping, and that one's come off the frame of the goal.
Bruce Nelson just trying to ease it into the 18-yard box. Comes up to O'Neill. Just gets up nice and early, but can't quite get himself over the top of the ball.
Yes, it was a very crisp, it was a smooth, it was a fantastic and beautiful football to watch. Arsenal beat Girona by 4-1 in the preseason friendly game. Kai Havertz, Christo Zolis was very lively for the Gunners. Max Dowman, the man who scored a very important goal for Arsenal last season against Everton to eventually take the game away from the Toffees. And then Gabriel Jesus, the man who is surplus to requirement at the Gunners and might be looking to leave in the summer in search of regular football, put the icing on the cake and the gloss on the scoreline. So a comfortable win for Mikel Arteta as the set to move on to other things and try to defend their Premier League title and maybe try to win the Champions League for the very first time. Still Morning Sport Blitz on Big Heart 92.1 FM. Asaba, let's go to the world of transfer gist, Arsenal's opening bid for Bruno Guimaraes has been rejected by Newcastle United. The Premier League champions are now in direct talks with Newcastle over a deal for their captain. Guimaraes is in Spain to report back for their preseason training camp in La Manga. The 28-year-old told Newcastle bosses last month that he wanted to join Arsenal in the summer. Newcastle want their captain to stay as he has 2 years left on his contract plus a club health option for his third. Arsenal are now discussing internally whether to go back with an improved offer. Guimaraes, who joined the Magpies in 2022 from Lyon for £40 million, has made 195 appearances for Newcastle and he has scored 31 goals. No doubt, Bruno Guimaraes is a fantastic player. I had 4 assists for Brazil at the just concluded FIFA World Cup. He is a very solid player, a box-to-box midfielder. He can put in those tackles. He's a very creative player as well. So I think that if Arsenal can get this one over the line, it will obviously improve their midfield. Imagine a midfield of a Rice, maybe a Zubimendi and Odegaard, and then you also add someone like Bruno Guimaraes in the mix. So it means that Arsenal will have different kind of midfield options in their team, and that makes their team stronger. A Bruno Guimaraes in any team today makes that team very strong, and that's why Arsenal are going for him. Chelsea have confirmed the signing of England midfielder Jordan Henderson. The 36-year-old joins on a free transfer, having left Brentford by mutual consent, and has signed a 2-year deal at Stamford Bridge. The Blues were keen to add experience to Xabi Alonso's squad this summer and have now brought in Henderson and Danny Welbeck in the same window. Henderson captained Liverpool to the Premier League title in 2020 and also won the Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup twice, the UEFA Super Cup and the FIFA Club World Cup in his time at Anfield. In 2023, he moved to Saudi Arabian side Al Ittifaq before joining Dutch club Ajax in January 2024 and returned to the Premier League with Brentford last summer, making 32 top-flight appearances in the 2025-2026 season. Chelsea agreed a club record £117 million deal to sign England midfielder Morgan Rogers from Aston Villa. 35-year-old England striker Danny Welbeck joined in a reported £5 million move from Brighton on Saturday, while Strasbourg midfielder Valentin Bako arrived on Sunday. Defender Maxence Lacroix joined for £52 million from Crystal Palace. Right back Marco Palestra moved from Atalanta for £42 million, and right winger Giovanni Quenda signed for £40 million from Sporting Lisbon. The other new additions are 23-year-old striker Emmanuel Emega from Strasbourg, left back Dena from Corinthians, and 17-year-old striker Dastan Satpev from Kairat Almaty. So Henderson has said that he's not a washed-up player and that he's ready to give his best for Chelsea, and Chelsea fans should be anticipating what he's going to do on the pitch of play. He still has a lot left in the tank. Well, Henderson is a good player, no doubt about that. Hopefully, he has recovered from his wrist injury, and I said it last night on All Access Sports that at the end of the day, Chelsea are looking in a different direction. It is all about the manager and what he wants. That's why before Alonso took that job at Chelsea, he said, listen, I'm not coming here to be the head coach. I'm coming here to be the manager of the team. I want to have a say, not just a small say, but a big say on a whole lot of things that happen in the club. Obviously, I'll take charge of the team, train the boys, pick the lineup, pick the formation or the tactics or whatever it is. But at the end, I want to be the one in charge. I want to determine the players that come in. I want to determine the players that go out. That's what Alonso wanted. Those were some of the conditions he gave before he actually, joined Chelsea. And true to it, Chelsea are also looking in a different direction because they know that having Alonso on their side and giving him all he wants, that Chelsea can be very successful. They want to win the Premier League for the first time since 2017. How do they achieve that? They need to support the manager. They need to give him all he wants. Chelsea are a spending club. They always spend money, but it's about investing in the right way, not buying young players for a huge amount of money, and at the end of the day, you sell them after 1 or 2 years for even a lower price, and they do not do the work you've brought them to do. So Alonso has a big say in players that come in and players that go out. You can take it from me, take it to the bank. I said so. If not all, but most of these players you see that Chelsea have signed, all of them were sanctioned, or most of them were sanctioned by Xabi Alonso. Anyone that wasn't sanctioned by Alonso obviously will not play in his team. That's Alonso for you. He's a very firm manager. He knows what he wants. He goes for it. And that's why, when he was having issues with Vinicius last season at Real Madrid, it was very, very evident. He's somebody that is a very principled person. Even when he was a footballer, for the likes of Liverpool, for the likes of Bayern Munich, you could see that he's somebody who does his job very quietly. He's not a noisemaker. He's not the loudest of coaches or players who shout, go to the press conferences and begin to shout and make demands. He doesn't harass journalists and all of those things. He makes his point very clear. If you cannot give me what I want, I will step aside. And that's why when the issues were not working at Real Madrid, he was not sacked at Real Madrid. They decided to go their separate ways. So Alonso wasn't sacked, against the backdrop of what people were saying, last season. So he's somebody who believes in himself. When you are good, when you know what you can offer, nobody will toss you around. That's somebody with Xabi Alonso. He knows his onions. He knows his pedigree. He knows what he has achieved in his very short spell as a coach. No coach in the history of the Bundesliga, with all the dominance Bayern Munich have attained, no coach, even Pep Guardiola, Vincent Kompany, who is there now, Jupp Heynckes, the great of the great coaches that managed Bayern Munich, no coach has won the Bundesliga without losing a game. But Alonso did that, I think, in 2024. So he did that with the Bayer Leverkusen side, not Bayern Munich. They did not spend so much money to win the Bundesliga. No, he did it his own way. Brought in players like Xhaka, brought in other quality players, changed the system. In fact, when Alonso even came, he came in midway through the course of the season. Bayer Leverkusen were in the relegation zone. He was able to keep them in the top 7 that season. And then in his first full season in charge, brought in those guys and they won the league without losing a game. 2023-24 season. They also won the DFB Pokal. In fact, in the whole of that season, they lost just one game, which was the final of the UEFA Europa League, all thanks to the hat-trick scored by our boy Ademola Lookman. That was the only game they lost in the entire of that last season, in all competitions. That was with Xabi Alonso. That was with Bayer Leverkusen, not Bayern Munich. There were reports that he was going to take over at Bayern Munich and all of that. So he's somebody that likes to do things his own way. And that's why Chelsea are supporting him in the transfer window, giving him the players, giving him the resources, so that if the results are not coming through, there's going to be a justifiable reason for him to say, okay, for Chelsea to say, you've done your best, let's shake hands and let's live in one piece. So this is what I like from Xabi Alonso. And I believe that in the absence of Champions League football next season, that Chelsea will be okay. I'm not saying they'll win the league, although the last time they won the league, they didn't have Champions League football as well under Antonio Conte. Conte had a full preseason to prepare the team, brought in his players, changed the system. When it came, Chelsea were conceding goals because that season they finished 10th. Last season, Chelsea finished 10th. So you see it's the same pattern. Jose Mourinho won in 2015. And then in 2016, it was almost a very, very horrible defense of the title. Mourinho left. Gus Hiddink took over the job. They were able to finish in 10th position. Conte took over the job. Full preseason. Changed the system. Converted some players. Converted Moses to a right wing back. Brought in Marcos Alonso. And it was very difficult for you to score against Chelsea. Not beat Chelsea. It was difficult to score against Chelsea. Because for you to beat Chelsea, you have to score against them. They were keeping a lot of clean sheets and it was a very comfortable stroll to the title. If teams were playing against Chelsea, teams were trying to copy Chelsea's system. Teams were trying to use the same formation against Chelsea. But when you are the master of something, when you have mastered an art, it's difficult for somebody to emulate or copy what you want to do. And Chelsea romped to the title that particular season. No Champions League football. So if you check now, it's the same pattern. Chelsea also finished 10th in the league last season. So no European distraction. All they will play is football in England, the Premier League, and then depending on how far they go in the FA Cup and Carabao Cup. But at least they are guaranteed to play 38 games. Even the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, you cannot play more than at worst 15, 16 games across both competitions. So that will also help him for the players to be fresh, for the players to be ready, injury-free. They can have a full week to train, just like it was helping Michael Carrick and Manchester United last season. That's why I want to see how good Carrick is. Now that Champions League football has returned, at least they'll play 8 games in the league phase. So you remember last season they played only 40 games across 3 competitions because they left in the first round of the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. But this season, there's another added 8 games, which is the Champions League. So even though they come out for the league phase, they will play at least 8 more games than they played last season. And then we're also not expecting that they leave in the first round of both cup competitions in England, the FA Cup and the Carabao Cup. So these are the things that are favoring Alonso. These are the things that will favor Chelsea. And when you also look at some of the quality of players they're signing, I'm excited about Rogers. I'm excited about Maxence Lacroix. Maybe not so excited about Welbeck and Henderson, but of course you know that with their experience and all of that, they're also going to help the young ones to play well. So watch out for Chelsea this season. Again, I'm not saying they'll win the league, but I feel that Chelsea will have a very strong say in terms of Champions League qualification. I think they'll finish in the top 5 or at worst top 6 at the end of the season. Meanwhile, Como have agreed a deal worth more than £30 million to sign Chelsea defender Trevor Chalobah. The 27-year-old is expected to sign a long-term contract and take on a leadership role under manager Cesc Fabregas at the Italian club, who secured Champions League qualification by finishing in the top 4 in Serie A last season. Chelsea will receive an initial £25.7 million with a further £5.1 million available in add-ons following protracted negotiations. The package is close to Chelsea's asking price of £30 million plus £5 million in add-ons after multiple offers dating back from early June, alongside interest from Inter Milan. The England international will leave his boyhood club after nearly 20 years, having joined Chelsea as a child. The move forms part of an effort at Stamford Bridge to reduce the size of new manager Xabi Alonso's squad. Mind you, Chelsea still has 9 senior centre-backs on their books, including Levi Colwill, Wesley Fofana, Tosin Adara Bioyo, Josh Achimpong, Benoit Badiashile, Aaron Anselmino, Axel Disasi, and Mamadou Sarr. Chelsea are very keen to offload Disasi and Badiashile and could send Achimpong out on loan, potentially to another Premier League club. Finally, on Chelsea, Mykhailo Mudryk and Danny Welbeck were among the 6 players to join up with the Chelsea squad in Hong Kong for their preseason tour. Giovanni Quenda, Pedro Neto, Mike Pendas, and Gabriel Slolina also arrived at Chelsea's camp yesterday. This is the first time Mudryk, free to return to football after his anti-doping proceedings were resolved, has been part of the team training since December 2024. New Blue signing Welbeck has been meeting his new teammate for the first time since his move from Brighton was confirmed. Neto is reporting back after a short break following his participation at the World Cup with Portugal. All right, giving you more transfer stories on the show this morning. Fulham have signed Gonzalo Garcia and Cesar Palacios from Real Madrid on 5-year deals. The 22-year-old Garcia made 39 appearances for the Spanish giant last season, scoring 8 goals in all competitions. The forward, who won his first cap for Spain in June, will reunite with his Fulham manager Alvaro Arbeloa for a reported fee of around £34 million, with the pair having worked together at Bernabeu last season. The highly rated striker, joint top scorer at the Club World Cup last summer, will be joined at Craven Cottage by his former Real Madrid teammate Palacios. The 21-year-old attacking midfielder also arrives on a contract that runs until the summer of 2031, although the club has the option to extend the agreement for both players by a further 12 months. Palacios made 5 appearances for Real's senior side, all from the substitute bench, and has played for Spain at under 20 level. So this is what you have. This is the kind of impact you get when you have a new manager coming from a previous club. So he wants to bring in some players, especially players he knows that will not get playing time. The truth of the matter is Garcia is a decent striker, but he'll always be number 2 or maybe even a number 3 to Mbappe and Endrick, because Endrick is there. I saw his goal against Fiorentina a couple of days ago. Very brilliant strike. I like Endrick a lot. I like the fact that he's very strong, not the tallest of players, but even with his height, he's very, very physical. He's very fast, and his left foot is also very good. So I think I would keep Endrick and sell Gonzalo Garcia. And getting about £34 million for Garcia is good business, for somebody who has come through Real Madrid's academy. And for Palacios, it's just for him to get more playing time, and that's not a bad one. Franco Macetuono is also another player Real Madrid are looking to loan. So if there is space in Fulham or any other club, you're sure that they're going to move in that direction. Casemiro has told Los Angeles Galaxy he only wanted to play for them. The club's general manager, Will Conte, says amid an investigation into his transfer to Inter Miami, the Brazil midfielder joined Lionel Messi at the club on a free transfer from Manchester United in July, signaling a deal that was supposed to run until 2027 MLS campaign, and of course with an option to extend until June 2029. Casemiro scored an own goal in Miami's 2-2 draw with the Columbus Crew on Sunday as Messi returned to loud ovation after his short break at the World Cup. Conte, who oversees LA Galaxy's transfers, was speaking to the media after his side's goalless draw with Dallas when he was asked about Major League Soccer's review into Inter Miami's signing of Casemiro. The probe concerns Casemiro's discovery rights and MLS regulation that gives a specific club first refusal over a player should they want to join. The MLS announced their investigation into Inter Miami signing of the 5-time Champions League winner just minutes after the signing was announced. An MLS club may have up to 5 players on their discovery list at any time and can add or remove players. This rule has been in place since the league was formed in 1996, with nothing like this existing in European football. The California-based club held the discovery right for Casemiro, but in announcing the player signing, Inter Miami said they had acquired the right from LA Galaxy. So there is something they call discovery right in the MLS. So if you register an interest in a player and the player wants to join your club, so which means if another club comes for that player, you have first refusal to say, okay, don't worry, we're not signing you anymore, you can go and join the other club. So that's what happened in this situation. Casemiro had told LA Galaxy he was willing to play for them, and then Inter Miami came and they had to, because they're also aware of the rule and they didn't want to break the rule and all of that, they had to meet LA Galaxy. They came to an understanding and they acquired the right to now sign Casemiro, who said, of course, after playing with Cristiano Ronaldo, that he wants to play with Lionel Messi at Inter Miami. Okay, so Tottenham Hotspur are interested in signing Cody Gakpo from Liverpool this summer. Head coach Roberto De Zerbi wants to sign at least one wide attacker after making big moves to improve his midfield and defense. Liverpool would not be willing to let Gakpo depart without having a replacement through the door, while the Netherlands international also has 4 years left on his deal and would not come cheaply. Liverpool are expected to make a formal approach to Paris Saint-Germain for France forward Bradley Barcola. However, that will not be a simple deal to do, given Paris Saint-Germain's value the 23-year-old at £145 million. Gakpo is one of the more experienced forwards in Andoni Iraola's squad, while he also has the capacity to provide strike cover for which there is a greater need, while Hugo Ekitike continues his rehab from an Achilles injury. If Gakpo were to go and Barcola arrived in his place, it would leave Liverpool with teenager Rio Ngumoha and new signing Victor Munoz as their other options on the wing. So this is a very, very dicey situation for Liverpool. Liverpool need additions and not deductions or subtractions. They need additions in the heart of the defense. They're conceding goals from set piece, and Dominic Szoboszlai has said this is not the way to go. We can't continue to be conceding goals like this and expect to do things well in the Premier League or in all competitions next season. So Liverpool, if they get Barcola, maybe there's an opportunity to also sell Cody Gakpo, because Alexander Isak is there. He's back to full fitness, and I think that he might just play a very good role under Andoni Iraola in the new season. All right, let me start taking your calls on the show. 0807 907 1941. 0807 907 1941 is the number for you to call on the show, and just feel free to tell me what you want. You can ask your questions as well, and I'll be glad to give you the answer. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I said no Chelsea,
no football. Name and location.
Sylvester, I'm calling from Accra.
Sylvester, welcome to the show. Please turn down the volume on your radio.
Okay, sorry, sir. Thank you.
Yes, all right. So move on. I can hear you clearly now. Yes, it's better.
Thank you very much. You just hit the nail on the head. You just download everything about Chelsea now. People will be laughing at us that we are buying old players, but it was just to miss it experience and those young ones. We have been using all those young ones for the past 3 seasons or 4 seasons now. Where did we end up? Either we are struggling, or we, apart from Enzo Maresca that came, we win the World Cup and the Conference League. We have been doing poorly in the league. So Xabi Alonso knows what he wants, and he knows what he. So if he fails now, we will know that it's the manager that is failed, not the owners now. So that is it. So I pray. It's like Enzo Fernandez is the only player left now to come back now. So other players are coming. So let's see what they will do against Juventus on the 5th. So from there we take it up. So where is Swapan playing their last group matches?
They'll play tomorrow. They play the last game tomorrow.
9 o'clock, Abby?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. Please have a wonderful night and keep giving us joy and happiness.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
But the league will carry it. This one you say, don't say we'll win it. We'll win it.
I think you should take it step by step. Considering when Chelsea finished last season.
We'll win it. It's our time now.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you so much, Sylvester, for calling on the show. Sylvester, no one here top 4, top 5. He said we'll win it. We want to win the league. We are going for the league title, the league or nothing. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Julian.
Good morning. Name and location.
This is Mr. Mazi, all the way from Ibuzo.
Mr. Mazi, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Mr. Julian. I want to talk about Chelsea fans. All these Chelsea fans, when they don't begin to make mouth like this. Too. And the year one, they don't say, which Premier League? Which Premier League you want to carry?
Nigerian Premier League.
okay, Nigerian Premier League. I forget. I think in Nigerian Premier League. I'm not saying okay, sorry, I beg. I don't know.
So why?
Make the guy know best.
So why do you think Chelsea cannot win the league?
The reason is so many different reasons. And you see Chelsea, if Chelsea didn't take care, they will not even finish in top 4. They are not going to finish in top 4. See players that are signing, and you see they do not begin the next one. Now the problem that I have with all Chelsea fans. They are too proud of themselves.
Now so every fan be. If you see Arsenal fans last season, if you see Arsenal win Champions League, waiting una foresee for Arsenal hand there. Una go know say Arsenal fans proud pass.
All of them they make match with them. All of them they make match. All of them they use that. I fully support PSG. That I don't like PSG, but I fully support PSG because of during Champions League final. Because I don't want Arsenal to carry. Before Arsenal will carry Champions League, it will reach 100 years.
100 years. Are we still going to be alive in 100 years? Arsenal for never fold up that time.
Even though I'm not alive, even though I'm old then.
Okay, so which club you they support like this?
Julian, they forget everything I said. I'm a Man U fan. I'm a Madrid fan.
You be Man U fan, you be Real Madrid. Okay, Man U / Madrid.
Yes.
So if this side no work, this side go work, Abi. You're a very smart guy.
In the United Kingdom, and they are one of the richest clubs in the world.
Abi.
Yes, they're one of the richest clubs in the world. So all these people that should just calm down.
All right.
They're not even talking about the win Premier League because of Chelsea. Because of one guy that also come. Now you put that and say, you don't go ahead and say, oh, Jabba don't do this. The season are buying the person when you go. The season are Bundesliga.
But when they won the league, nobody believed. Now that was a year of Bayern had won the league for like I think 10 years on the bounce when they won the league.
Yes, but let me tell you something, Julian. Premier League is not a Bundesliga.
Okay.
Premier League is one of the hardest leagues in Europe.
But he can still win it. And Shebi Anaslot won it with Liverpool now, 2025. He came out of nowhere. Who would have believed that Liverpool would have won the league? But he won it now, and he didn't really sign any player. He won the league.
Liverpool has a score to win Premier League then.
Liverpool has what?
Has the score to win the Premier League then. Mohamed Salah then, Gonika for them.
So you think Chelsea Morgan Rogers is not a good player?
Morgan Rogers? Even the player that come out and say, I do want that money that I win.
Morgan Rogers was the best player in the Europa League last season, no?
Who even the goalkeeper for Chelsea that will give them about 2 clean sheets or 5 clean sheets? Is it Sanchez? I don't think his name.
Okay, the way they underrate Chelsea, so it will be interesting when Chelsea meets Manchester United, though.
I can't wait to see that.
We're not going to be there, Woto. All right, thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for calling on the show. Every fan has their way of always talking about their club. Nobody today starts. If to say Arsenal win league last season, my friend told me he had bought a big cow and painted it red. The last time I saw that was when I was in Lagos in 2012 when Chelsea won their first Champions League. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, radio anchor.
Good morning, my listener. Welcome. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
You see the voice of Lancer.
Mr. Lancer, MVP. Rain, let's play on Sunday.
You see, let me tell you. You need a Clasico to God.
Abi, the rain stop me.
Clasico. See, later I will forward you the picture.
No wahala.
You miss a lot.
No wahala. Mr. Lancer, Yes, you've been hearing the conversation about Chelsea, about Man United, the battle here and there.
Yeah, of course. Of course. Let me chip in one or two things.
Yes.
Let me tell you. You see this Chelsea and team. You know, I'm not a supporter of Chelsea.
Okay.
I'm a real supporter of
Manchester United.
But the way I'm seeing this Chelsea, you know, they will not be disturbed by any big competition.
Exactly.
God, mark my word, check to this date. This Chelsea I'm seeing.
Yes.
They are one of the real contenders for the Premiership.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Because the way they are signing the young and old quality players, see, that man Alonso is cooking. Cooking better things, better superhead. On my team of Manchester United.
Okay, yes, go on. Okay. Oh, sorry about that, Mr. Lancer. Do try to call back if you can. 0807 907 1941. 0807 907 1941 is the number for you to call on the show. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, name and location.
This is Jonjo, God of Anfield.
God of Anfield, welcome to the show.
I never hear you mention Liverpool by signing a player.
Liverpool know they sign now. They're looking at selling instead of signing. That's the issue.
I bet you help me choose club where I go support this season. I think maybe what happened last season happened to me again. No. I bet if not Atletico Madrid, I will go support because that one is my second club.
Atletico Madrid. If not Atletico Madrid, you go suffer well to win trophy.
I like the way they play.
Okay, like the way they play. But as they play finish, they don't feel win anything now because there's Barcelona, there's Real Madrid.
Not the issue.
So now from frying pan to fire, you they go.
They're not the time player. Bakola, make them leave Bakola. Bakola is January now. We don't approach January. I rather go for free.
He has 2 years left on his contract now, so you know if you wait for January again now, he has 2 years. It's not 1 year. It's 2 years that he has. If it was 1 year, you can wait till January. But he has 2 years left.
Let them leave me and focus on another player.
Players still there, so.
This Victor Munoz.
Yes, Victor Munoz.
Which position?
Now wing guy. If he play left, if he play right.
I bet I use that one now. Go for Salah wing now.
Yeah, because as he stand now, the guy go fit replace Salah, so. Now the can't play away if he replace Salah. Salah score goes well for Liverpool, oh.
What you go do now?
The guy will not even fit play for Spain for World Cup. He not even play.
Even Bakola self wey and defense self, he no fit replace Salah. Make them carry that guy go. Make them carry Victor go that Salah win. Bring Nunes back. I still like Nunes.
Okay.
Yes, instead of waste that money because Liverpool not fit waste that money. Last season, you know how much they waste for Isak and
Exactly. He wasted money on every side. Okay, thank you so much for your contribution on the show. Liverpool were just spending, and as Slot won the league, he didn't sign anybody. When they spent money, he was not sacked at the end. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Name and location.
Yeah, my name is Mohammed. This is calling from Kogi.
Mohammed, welcome to the show. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Kogi State.
You can hear us from Kogi State.
Yes, sir.
Oh wow, God is wonderful.
Seriously, I think I agree with what is second to the last caller said.
Okay.
Because Xavi Alonso, we know what he did during Bayern Leverkusen. You can imagine someone play game from beginning to
the end.
And lose
only one game.
Yes, it's not an easy.
It's not easy, oh.
Yeah, so our prayer for him is for God to give him long life and strength.
Exactly, God to give him long life and strength. Because that Chelsea job is not easy. He needs strength.
Exactly, and at the same time, the pattern of England football is different than other places. But with what he did in Bayern Leverkusen,
of course,
I think he's good to go.
Yes, he's good to go.
It's a welcome development.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Keep listening to us all the way from Kogi State. We sincerely appreciate you for calling on the show. So just to put it in proper perspective, in that 2023-24 season, Bayer Leverkusen played 34 games in the Bundesliga. So his team won 28 of those games and drew 6. So out of 34 games, won 28 and drew 6. His side scored 89 goals and conceded only 54. They had a goal difference of plus 65 and they had 90 points. 90 points that season. Hello, good morning.
Mr. Julian, Mr. Mazi Koba.
Mr. Mazi.
Talking about the caller that just called before the last call. He said that he don't know the club that he supports. He should come, let me show you the club he will support.
Which one?
Manchester United and Real Madrid.
What is special about Manchester United and Madrid? Madrid will never win trophy for the last 2 years.
They are not going to disappoint him.
Madrid will never win trophy for the last 2 years. Now you they say me can't join. Is that a good club to join?
This one, they go win.
Instead of join Madrid, I rather join Barcelona. Yes, of course.
Julian, for the looking of your face, you be Chelsea fan.
Because when I talk about Chelsea today, no be me they call Sanderson, no be me they call Chelsea, say they sign 35 year and 30. I know they support any club, my brother. No put me for tight. No carry me go where I no know. I know they find club to support. If I want support club, I know the one where I go support for my mind. But I know they support anyone.
If you want support club,
I want to live long, my brother. This life too sweet. I need to live long. You want make I know they sleep for nights? Avek, this job is already enough for me. I don't want more one.
Talking about my club, watching is only Manchester United now.
Don't worry, I go ask Carrick. When I sign out now, just call Carrick. Say, oh boy, have fun now. Your fans are complaining. Sign player now.
Make it bad player.
Which player you want make I tell May sign? Which player you want make I tell May sign now?
I been making sign even done a right back that guy where they for what's his name for
Newcastle. And a left back now 3 they play 3.
Yes, so that guy.
Okay.
So if we can still get another striker.
Oh yeah, now.
That will be better.
No wahala. I will tell him immediately. I just finish this show now. I get Carrick number. Don't call him one time. No worry. Before today, go sign that guy. Thank you so much, my friend. So I was talking about Bayer Leverkusen and what Alonso did that year. Dropped only 12 points out of 102 points. Chelsea got, Bayer Leverkusen got 90 points that season. Okay, hello, good morning. Final caller.
Yeah, good morning. Let me be very fast about it. Maxwell from Ababa.
Okay, Maxwell, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Like I told the caller that said, with Bayer Leverkusen, there was no pressure.
Okay.
So it was just like when Leicester did that. There was no pressure. It's coming into Chelsea. I think there's pressure. But Chelsea is the club.
Okay.
In the past 8 years, I did the last coach or the one that left. I did won the World Power Club Cup and other trophies that means to take the trophy. So for me, I think Bayern Leverkusen there was no pressure. He came into the team when they were at least battling for the position. He survived there. Then did the extraordinary. So now at Chelsea there's pressure. Just like when he came to Madrid, there was pressure. Because so for me, I disagree with the cooking. I think there's pressure, so it will take time to whatever he wants to do. Then Mr. Julian, because there's no time, please, when the callers are calling, they should make their point and allow others.
No wahala, no problem.
Some of them are taking most time on unnecessary things.
No problem. All right, thank you so much for calling on the show. Okay, so that's the much I can take on today's edition of Morning Sport Blitz on Big Heart 92.1 FM Asaba. Thank you so much for those of you who called. Sincerely appreciate. Don't worry, we'll have more time in the evening for all access sports from 7 to 8 p.m. My name is Julian AJUNWA. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep listening to Big Heart 92.1 FM. Up next is the Daily Brief with Marvelous Akpenyi.
you're on the move,
then move it to 92.1 FM, Asaba.
We beat for you.